Today my topic is spin dependence of neutron proton scattering. We are discussing this scattering at low energy, that is below 10 MeV. The topic may also be identified as determination of phase shift delta zero. In the previous topic, we have discussed that in the neutron proton scattering below 10 MeV, almost all the neutrons are scattered by protons. Basically, there is no absorption of neutrons by protons or by the target material below 10 MeV, and therefore whatever be the change in the incident wave is basically the change in phase of the outgoing wave after scattering. So we will now determine the phase shift delta zero for low energy NP scattering by solving the Schrodinger equation in the region where the interaction between two particles takes place. For any potential well, the phase shift delta zero can be evaluated by joining the external wave function equation psi total is equal to e raised to power I delta 0 upon kr multiplied by sine kr plus delta 0 to an internal wave function psi in whose form is determined by the parameters of the potential well. Inside the well of the depth V0 and width R0, suppose the radial wave equation for particles whose total energy has the positive value E, suppose, can be written as d square ui upon dr square plus m upon h cross square multiplied by E plus V0 multiplied by uir is equal to 0. This is the equation for r less than or equal to r0, where r0 is the width of the potential well. E is the total energy and ui is the modified radial wave function inside the well where neutron and proton interact with each other. But outside the potential well, the Schrodinger equation will be d square u O upon dr square plus me upon h cross square multiplied by uo is equal to 0, and this equation therefore can be written for r greater than r0, where again u0 is modified radial wave function outside the potential well. Now equation 1 and 2 may be written as equation 3 and 4 by substituting ki, which is a wave number inside the potential well, and it will be equal to under root m multiplied by E plus V0 upon h cross, and ko is equal to under root me upon h cross, where m is the mass of either neutron or proton. V0 is the depth of the potential well. As we have discussed in the neutron problem, using the condition when u tends to 0 as r does, the solution of equation 3 and 4 may be written as ui is equal to a sine ki r, uo is equal to b sine ko r plus delta 0. We have added delta 0 with KOR because this solution represents outside the potential well. At the edge of the rectangular well means where R will be equal to R0. The two solutions and their derivatives with respect to small r must be continuous. So we will equate both the solutions, which are represented by equation 5 and 6, and their derivatives also. So when we equate the derivative, we will get the equation kia multiplied by cos kiro is equal to bko cos koro plus delta 0 or delta o. Hence, if we divide these two equations, we will get Ki cot KIRO is equal to Ko cot KORO plus delta O. This is equation number 7. Now, if the parameters of the square well, that is depth and the width, means V0, VO and RO are given, the phase shift delta O can be computed from equation 7 as a function of energy E. So the relationship 7 or the equation 7 is analogous in the form to equation K cot KR0 is equal to minus a small k, where capital K is equal to under root M multiplied by V0 minus B upon H cross, and small k is equal to under root MB upon H cross. And this is the equation and the substitutions for which describes the binding energy B of the deuteron in terms of the same rectangular well, that is having width R0 and the depth V0. This equation we have derived in the deuteron when we discussed deuteron case. Now for low energy neutrons, when we consider E is very much less than V0, we may assume K is equal to Ki, because we know that V0 is very much greater than binding energy B of deuteron, and therefore we can write K nearly equal to Ki. Hence, for the wave function UR inside the well is nearly the same for the deuteron and the NP scattering system. So this implies, again I am stressing on this point, that wave function UR, radial wave function UR inside the well will be nearly equal to the wave function for the deuteron. So we can say that deuteron wave function and the neutron proton scattering below 10 MeV wave function will be same or equal. Thus, for approximation, we can write equation 7 as when K cot KR0 is equal to KO cot KORO plus delta O. Now, on comparing this equation with K cot KR0 is equal to minus K, we get KO cot KORO plus delta O is equal to minus K. This is equation number 8. And when we put the values of, or we substitute the values of KO in this equation 8, then we get below equation, that is under root ME upon H cross cot multiplied by under root ME upon H cross R0 plus delta 0 is equal to minus under root MB upon H cross. As the scattering length A is much larger than the range R0 of the potential, we know. Thus, for very low energy neutrons, KORO can be neglected in comparison. This I have explained in this bracket, where I have written A is equal to minus delta 0 upon K. A is the scattering length, and therefore if from this equation, if delta O is large, then A has to be large. So in that case, we can say that if A is much larger than the range R0 of the potential, then for very low energy neutrons, KORO must be neglected in comparison to delta 0, and therefore we can write cot delta 0 is equal to minus under root B upon E, and this can be written as instead of cot, if we write this equation in terms of sine, then it will be written as sine square delta 0 is equal to E upon E plus modulus of B. I write modulus of B because B can be either positive or negative. In case of deuteron, it is negative, but we have to put the value of B as positive value. So substituting the value of sine square delta 0 in the formula of scattering cross section, that is sigma sc is equal to 4 pi upon ko square multiplied by sine square delta o. We get sigma sc is equal to 4 pi multiplied by h cross square upon me multiplied by e upon e plus modulus of b. So when we solve this equation and substituting all the values, we will get a scattering cross section nearly equal to 3.5 barn for zero energy neutrons, means for very slow neutrons. So when protons are bombarded by very slow neutrons, or I should say neutrons having energy less than MeV, then scattering cross section comes out to be nearly equal to 3.5 barn. This calculated value is in actually violent disagreement with the experimental value of 20 barns of scattering cross section, 20.4 barns. Wigner, a scientist, nuclear scientist, first pointed out that this agreement is due to the tacit assumption that singlet and triplet S-wave interactions are equal. When we derived above equations and substituting some values, we obtained the scattering cross section. Then we assume that the scattering from singlet state and triplet states are equal. The binding energy B, which dominates E in the evaluation of sigma delta C, sigma scattering, applies only to the ground level of neutron, hence to a triplet interaction between the colliding neutron and proton. जो बात मैं यहाँ समझाना चाह रहा हूँ वह यह है कि न्यूट्रॉन को प्रॉब्लम को जब हम सॉल्व करते हैं तो एक्सक्लूसिवली वो ट्रिपलेट स्टेट के लिए हम सॉल्व करते हैं, ये मानते हुए कि जो न्यूट्रॉन है वो मोस्टली ट्रिपलेट स्टेट में एग्जिस्ट करता है। लेकिन न्यूट्रॉन प्रोटॉन स्कैटरिंग के केस में हम ये मानकर चल रहे हैं कि जो स्कैटरिंग है वो ट्रिपलेट और सिंगलेट स्टेट दोनों में है, दोनों ही कंडीशन में होती है और इक्वल रेशो में होती है। The resulting cross section computed from equation 7 and from the relation of scattering cross section, that is 4 pi lambda cross square sine square delta O, have been plotted in this adjoining figure. This curve represents the theoretical NP scattering as well as the experimental scattering cross section. Now from this diagram or curve we can observe that cross section in the triplet case, since it is a triplet well parameter we have used, we see that there is a good agreement between sigma Sc and the experimental points at energies above 5 MeV. This can be due to the fact that the singlet and triplet cross sections are approximately equal in this energy range, or we can say that energy range greater than 5 MeV. So when neutrons are bombarded on protons having energy more than 5 MeV, then both the cross section, that is theoretical cross section and experimental cross section, are almost same. But below 5 MeV, actually one parameter dominates the other. This discrepancy between the theoretical and the experimental value of the scattering cross section can be explained as follows. Actually, to explain this discrepancy, we have to introduce the spin dependence of nuclear force. Actually, A.P. Wigner, a nuclear scientist, suggested that the scattering occurs not only in the triplet state but in the singlet state as well. So when unpolarized neutrons means the neutrons having spin direction in all the directions, distributed in all the directions. So when these unpolarized neutrons strike randomly oriented protons, their uncorrelated spins add up to unity in 3/4 of the collisions and to 0 in 1/4 ऑफ द कोलिजन्स। तो जो प्रोटॉन्स हैं वो टारगेट मटेरियल में उनकी जो स्पिन्स है प्रोटॉन्स की वो रेंडमली ओरिएंटेड होती है, और इसलिए जब अनपोलराइज्ड न्यूट्रॉन्स यानी कि उन न्यूट्रॉन्स की जो स्पिन्स है वो भी सभी डायरेक्शंस में डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड होती है, तो ऐसे न्यूट्रॉन्स जब प्रोटॉन्स पर बम्बार्ड किए जाते हैं तो 3/4 ऑफ द कोलिजन्स में उन दोनों की स्पिन एडअप होती है, न्यूट्रॉन की और प्रोटॉन की, और 1/4 ऑफ द कोलिजन्स में उनकी जो स्पिन है वो एक दूसरे को न्यूट्रलाइज कर देती है, तो टोटल स्पिन उन दोनों की ज़ीरो हो जाती है। इन अदर वर्ड्स वी कैन से दैट इन ट्रिपलेट स्टेट means where S equal to capital S equal to 1. Capital S means the combined spin of the neutron and proton will be joined, means half plus half will give us the total as 1. This has 3 times the statistical weight of a singlet state. Singlet state means where the spin of neutron will cancel by the spin of proton, because both the spins are anti-parallel to each other, and therefore the combined spin of a neutron and proton in this case will be 0. So capital S will be equal to 0. So the statistical weight of triplet state will be 3 times that of the singlet state. Accordingly, the average cross section scattering cross section for zero energy neutron should be written as sigma SC is equal to 3/4 multiplied by scattering cross section in triplet state plus 1/4 multiplied by scattering cross section in singlet state, or I should say 1 sigma 0, where 3 sigma 0 is equal to, in terms of scattering length, can be written as 4 pi 3a0 square, and singlet scattering cross section 1 sigma 0 can be written as, in terms of scattering length, 4 pi 1a0 square. For large neutron energies, that is almost equal to 10 MeV, the neutrons will be scattering with bound state. Bound state means in 3s1 state, and NP3, that is triplet state cross section, alone will be effective, while the thermal neutrons will have a proper mixture of NP triplet state and NP singlet state cross section, the total value of which tends to be equal to the experimental cross section of 20.4 Vans. So using the relation, that is sigma SC is equal to 3/4 multiplied by triplet state cross section 3 sigma 0 plus 1/4 multiplied by singlet state cross section 1 sigma O. Now from this equation we can evaluate 1 sigma 0, because the total scattering cross section experimentally find value is 20.36, and this will be equal to 3/4, and theoretically determined triplet state scattering cross section is 3.5. So by putting these values we can determine the singlet state cross section nearly equal to 71 Pons. The corresponding scattering length can be determined by the relation sigma is equal to 4 pi a square, and these will be AT is equal to 5.378 Fermi, and singlet state scattering length will be 23.69 Fermi. The sign of 1a0 is basically indeterminate, because from the above relation we cannot determine the sign of 1a0, but from coherent scattering of neutrons with ortho and para hydrogen molecules which have a parallel and anti-parallel alignment of protons in them, the sign of 1a0 is found to be negative. This shows that NP1 state means singlet neutron proton scattering state is not a bound state. The effective range of these forces is calculated from the equation k cot delta 0 is equal to 1 upon a minus 1 by 2 k square r0. This equation we will derived in the next topic. We shall derive in the next topic. So, but from this equation, if we put the value of A, we can determine the effective range in triplet state as well as in singlet state, as 3R0 is equal to 1.7 Fermi and 1R0 is equal to 2.2 Fermi. Now again from these equations we can determine the depth of the potential well in triplet state, and this will be in triplet state 38 MeV and in singlet state it will be 20 MeV. So again from these values we can infer that the triplet state potential is found to be stronger than the singlet state potential. Thank you.